That's when I realised, like, where am I? Like,
it just surprised me to my core, and till today I'm still thinking, anytime I walk into a formal and there's a gong, I'm like, what is that?
And yeah, I knew that this is it, I'm in Cambridge now.
Yeah, it was the gowns. Definitely seeing sort of everyone in the daytime, in the nighttime, walking around town, in colleges, everywhere with gowns. And that dies out after the first couple of days of freshers or the first couple of weeks of freshers. But definitely for those first couple of weeks, it was really like, wow, this is Hogwarts.
I think living in Fitz doesn't feel too crazy because it's quite, the architecture is quite modern, so you don't really feel like you're in this really elite place. But the one moment was when at matriculation dinner they handed us a cheese board, and I'd never seen a cheese board in my life. I was like, what the hell do I do with this?
When I first arrived on maybe day 3 or day 4, we had matriculation dinner where all the freshers get dressed up in their gowns and they go to formal, and you're sat with people from your subject who are also at your college, and also the academics, which was so intimidating. It felt completely different to anything I've ever done before. And I ended up really enjoying it, and it was a really nice time, but it's a bit of a strange way to be introduced to people, is to all be dressed up and eating a fancy dinner.
What's particularly interesting about Murray Edwards is one of those colleges where they just don't mind. They're really relaxed about stuff like dress code. And so, you know, I'd spent some time researching and worrying and thinking, does it matter? And actually, when I turned up, you know, as I would hope, the college and the staff there were much more interested in making me feel welcome, much more interested in, you know, making sure I had a nice time at the dinner. They specifically sat me next to people who were also mathematicians so that I could get a chance to talk to people that I had something in common with.
I think the first time I had my, oh, I'm in Cambridge feeling was when at my first matriculation dinner, and I remember they hit a gong and I was so surprised. I was like, where am I? They were behind me and I was like, and it was so funny. People were laughing at me, but it was great.
I remember when I received my first reading list for my first supervision essay. It was so incredibly long. It was about Karl Marx and it had all of his works, and I was terrified. I was like, okay, this is it, we're in Cambridge. But then when we had the supervision, it was actually really interesting, and they didn't expect us to know all of that.
In one of my supervisions, which is like small group teaching, for Russian, one of our teachers, we didn't know the answer to a question for a translation into Russian. So the teacher gave us a clue by giving us the word in Latin. I don't speak Latin. Latin is not a prerequisite for the course. And I just thought, oh my Lord, I am in a place with completely different people, and it's like I'm a fly on the wall in some really weird situations. Anyway, it helped the other person. They got it from the Latin word.
Yeah, that was my, oh wow, I'm in Cambridge moment. And yeah, honestly, I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, because it's just such a funny experience that I can share with my friends.